Welcome to Speak Bold with KK. Here we learn phrases and grammar with the help of the fun and storage. Also, we do practice about the English listening skills along with the speaking. The story is The Clinic at Dusk. In a small rural village in Madhya Pradesh, there stood a humble little clinic. Not fancy, not well equipped, but it had something that many modern hospitals didn't have. It had Dr. Meera. She had dedicated her life to treating children with neurological conditions. To the villagers, she was more than a doctor. She was hope. People traveled miles to reach her. Some came walking, some were carried. All of them brought the same thing, desperation. That evening, the clinic was bursting with patients. Children crying, mothers praying. The corridor echoed with uncertainty. Dr. Meera was exhausted. Her hands ached, her eyes burned, but her face calm. She didn't allow her tiredness to show. The villagers used to say, Dr. Meera is a goddess in disguise. But she always smiled and said, I am just a pair of steady hands in a storm. That day, a young boy named Arjun was brought in. He suffered from severe seizures. His father looked troubled and doubtful. We have tried herbs, home remedies, he said, frustrated. Why isn't he getting better? Dr. Meera didn't react angrily. She simply offered a gentle admonition. You must comply with the course of treatment. Don't deprive him of what can help. There was silence. The father hesitated. Then he nodded, unsure but willing to try. Nearby, a woman, middle-aged with tired eyes, broke down in tears. This hatred inside me, it's making me sick, doctor. Dr. Meera looked at her quietly and said, It always does. Hatred begets sorrow. Forgiveness rejuvenates. The woman wiped her eyes. Something had shifted. Watching all this was Ravi, a young intern, fresh out of medical school, eager to help but always holding back. Dr. Meera noticed. She walked up to him and said gently, Buckle down, Ravi. If you want to learn, be present in every moment. And so he did. By the end of the night, he had taken vitals, prepared IV drips, and even calmed a child during a seizure. He was beginning to learn something important. Medicine isn't just science, it's also presence, empathy, patience, and sometimes. The rush slowly ended. The night grew quiet. Dr. Meera finally sat at her desk and opened her journal. She wrote, Healing isn't a formula. It's osmosis absorbed slowly, over time, from one soul to another. Suddenly, the lights went out. The entire clinic was plugged into darkness. There were murmurs, whispers, flickers of fears. But Dr. Meera, she simply lit a candle, her face warm in the glow. We are okay, she said softly. Let's keep going. And that's how the clinic at dusk ends. Not with applause, but with quiet strength. A reminder to all of us, whether you are a doctor, a student, or just a listener. True care isn't about power, it's about presence. Today's grammar focus is adverbs of manner. Adverbs of manner tells us how something is done. They usually come after the verb or the object. We have picked some example from this story. First, she replied metaphorically. Here the adverb of manner is metaphorically. Describes how she replied. He nodded reluctantly. This describes how he nodded. She spoke quietly. Describes her manner of speaking. The lights went out abruptly. Abruptly describes how they went out. It's time for the vocabulary of the day. So we have picked some vocabulary from this story itself. First is dusk, meaning the time just after sunset when the sky begins to darken. For example, the nurse arrived at the clinic just as dusk settled over the hills. Second word is uneasy, meaning feeling worried, anxious, or slightly afraid. For example, she felt uneasy walking down the silent corridor of the clinic. The next word is flicker, a brief, unsteady movement of light or emotion. For example, a flicker of doubt crossed his face as he read the old patient file. The fourth word is murmur, meaning a soft, low, and continuous sound or a quiet spoken word. For example, a murmur of voices came from behind the closed door, barely audible. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your next English story is just one click away.